welcome to Africa2U. In the studio today, we have two guests from South Africa.
I'm Twane Tate, and I'm from Port Elizabeth in South Africa. It's in the Eastern Cape, so yeah.
I'm Kate, and I'm from Grahamstown, also in the Eastern Cape. It's like a very small town.
Well, when somebody says, I'm an African, the first bias is, oh, this person has a dark skin. But evidently, you don't.
Yeah.
So have you ever been called or referred to as African American?
Well, I once joked with someone that I was African American, and they laughed. They thought it was funny. But yeah, usually they're very surprised when we say we're from South Africa, and they see the color of our skin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're really surprised. They don't really expect it. They're like shocked. So, yeah.
What can you tell us about your experience?
In South Africa, it's a little bit more scary, I think, than being out of South Africa, just because of all the issues that are happening in South Africa at the moment. But I'm proud to be South African either way.
Yeah, it's harder in South Africa than out of South Africa because there's a lot going on, especially with like the whole race issue. So
The xenophobia?
no, not even xenophobia. There's like a party that has risen that's like kill the Boere, which means kill the farmers. And even though if you don't even live on a farm, and they kill you just because of your skin color, and it's really bad. It's bad.
At the intro of this show, I was talking about the diversity that Africa has. We have all kinds of people on the African continent. So, what is your experience? How did you become South Africans?
I guess in the like 1820.
Were you born there, or?
No, the 1820 settlers. I think that's when my family kind of came there, from like Britain area, and kind of just moved to
Netherlands as well. There's a lot of people from Netherlands as
an
well.
island area. The one side of my family is kind of more British heritage, I think, and the other side is like Ireland, Scottish.
Yeah, it's like different because she's English and I'm Afrikaans, so we're more, because Afrikaans is like a mix of German and Dutch. Well, yeah. So my ancestors probably came from Netherlands and Germany, and yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the Africans.
Oh, the Afrikaans.
Afrikaans. Sorry, I should pronounce it well. It's Afrikaans.
Yeah. You're actually the first like American that actually pronounces it correctly.
Just to correct you, I'm a naturalized American.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
African.
Yeah. Well, in America.
Oh, yeah. What can you tell us about the Afrikaan people?
I think they, from my experience with them, they're very kind of close in terms of family. Like you see them having like a lot of family gatherings, and there's usually like at least 50 people, I think.
Yeah, families are big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the Afrikaans families in South Africa. Not so much the English, but that's from my experience.
You mentioned food. What kind of food do you guys specialize in?
Okay, well, in South Africa, we braai. It's like in America, you'd call it a barbecue, but we literally make a fire with wood and then we grill our meat. So that's like a typical South African thing you do. And then potjie.
Potjie, yeah, that takes like the whole afternoon to cook. You kind of start at 2 o'clock with the meat, and then like maybe 3 o'clock you add the veggies, and it's also like a kind of a party when you have the potjie. It's a big gathering.
What exactly is the process of making it?
So you make a fire with coal, and then you have like a big black pot, and you put oil in at the beginning, and then you add your meat. So it could be chicken, lamb, beef, and you cook that for a little bit until it becomes like nearly cooked, but not quite. Then you can add in some wine or any kind of liquid, even water, and then you add in vegetables like potato, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, onion, anything like that. And then you let that cook. You add some like spices, salt, pepper, I don't know what spices you add.
Yeah, similar.
And then
Depends on what you like.
Yeah, and then you kind of thicken it, so it's kind of like a stew, but it's cooked over a fire.
And I went to Lasete Cultural Center, and I saw an imitation of the Zulu people, the Xhosa, the different people in the Lesotho, and it felt so much like home, grinding on stones and smearing the floors with cow dung. So there is a lot of similarities in the way of life of the South Africans. Let me just get back to my script a little bit. What South African culture stands out for you or makes you proud to be South African? We'll start with Kate.
I think the family gatherings is a big part of our culture, because in America, I've noticed that they don't usually have very big family gatherings. It's only really Christmas time and Thanksgiving. But for us, it's every holiday, every chance we get, we kind of have a family gathering and socialize a bit more, in my experience.
Andrew.
Yeah, it's the same. I feel like in South Africa, the families are really close. You're really close with your family, and every opportunity you get, you'd like spend time with them. And I feel like the South Africans also, we do a lot more than the Americans to see our families. The Americans are like, they live for themselves, sort of. Yeah. South Africa, it's like, there's always a lot of, even by my house in South Africa, there's always people. We are never like alone, and our family just drops by like every day. So in America, you have to call before you go to someone's house.
In South Africa, how are your parties?
Oh, we have music.
Always music.
Yeah,
Have
there's
you been
always
to
music.
parties here in the US?
No.
We've been to like clubs,
Okay.
but it's a little bit different from South
yeah.
Africa. I
Okay.
think they're more like, South Africa, we dance to have fun. Here they just kind of dance to find people that they like, and it's not so fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Did you hear that? Know what to expect in American clubs. I haven't been to the clubs here, so I don't know.
I'll just go with a few people.
African culture is not just one culture.
Yeah.
So one might be in one country like South Africa, but there will be different cultures in South Africa, and it's common for one person not to know all the cultures.
Sure, yeah.
And how many tribes are in South Africa? Do you know?
Too many to count, I think.
Yeah. You only
lot.
know of the big ones,
Okay.
but a lot of them are like, they don't even exist anymore, because people tend to like rather live the modern way. So
Okay.
yeah,
How many languages can you speak? South African languages?
I can speak 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
which ones?
Afrikaans is my home language, then English is my second language, and I can speak a little bit of Xhosa.
Oh,
Yeah, English is my home language. I learned Afrikaans at school and a little bit of Xhosa.
how do they greet in each? Just want to learn the greeting.
Well,
Wow.
English is hello or hi,
Yes.
how's it, what's up.
Yeah,
Afrikaans,
it's like hello, hoe gaan? Well, it's hello, dag sê. Depends on like the situation, also what you'd say greeting someone, or like just say hi. Yeah.
goeiemorgen,
Goeiemorgen. Yeah.
What does that mean?
good morning.
Good morning.
Goeiemorgen.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah. 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 Or dag sê. That would be just like a general hello.
So it's similar to hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I have noticed again with the greeting here after moving to the United States is when people say hi, they're not interested in knowing how exactly you're feeling. Or
Yes,
when they
I
say
feel the
how are
same
you,
way.
it's
I
more
know.
of courtesy.
Yeah.
What is it like with the South African greeting?
It's more meaningful, I think.
Like, yeah.
We
it-
like really want to start a
You-
conversation.
Yeah, you actually care. And in South Africa, in the US, you wouldn't like kiss greet someone. In my family, I grew up like if you greet someone, you like kiss them and be like, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
And in America, if you do that, they're like, no, no, my personal space. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, that term, personal space, which is also something I've come to accept here. You know, once you move into a different culture, one learns to respect the culture. And sometimes I'm afraid of offending people because I'm so used to our way of life. You meet somebody and you're all over
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I feel like South Africans are really affectionate. Like, I wouldn't even know someone, I'd like go up and hug them and be like, hi, how are you? And in America, you don't do it. You just like hold your distance and be like, oh, hi.
Or shake hands.
Yeah. That's really awkward because in South Africa, only men would like shake hands.
Yeah.
And you would like shake someone's hand, but it's not common. It's really like, I find it awkward shaking someone's hand.
So do you listen to South African music?
Yeah, we have Afrikaans music, which is really good, and then we have a dance as well. It's called soki. You'd soki with someone. It's like two people dancing together. It's fun. It's like a young, fun thing. Yeah.
Woohoo! And Kate?
We also listen to a lot of Afrikaans music. We do socky too sometimes. But we have some South African artists that I find are really good. There's Matthew Mole. Freshly Ground is really good too. She sings kind of more African style music, which I enjoy. Yeah.
And Lockenville is from Cape Town.
Yes.
Oh.
They're like rap artists, right?
Yeah.
They rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I'd go back to South Africa. I enjoyed my time. When I was there, I mostly stayed in Pretoria.
Oh yeah, everybody goes to Joburg.
Exactly. So, is there anything else that the world does not know about South Africa? Because there is usually the media has selective things they tell about Africa to the rest of the world. And so one of the advantages of this, or the purposes of this program or this show, is to show other components of Africa that are rarely told to the world, to the rest of it, especially to America. So is there anything that you can think of that is not usually in the media that you'd like to tell us about South Africa?
Not everything in South Africa is all crime and like you get killed or you can't stop at a robot because you'll get hijacked. It's not, it depends on which part you are in South Africa because you only hear the bad things mostly about South Africa, but we have really good wine countries and like we have some of the best wine and we have good beer, and I feel like the people in South Africa is really friendly, and not because like in America the people are friendly, but they're just like doing it. But in South Africa the people are really friendly and helpful, and it's only in certain parts where it's like dangerous, but crime is everywhere, not just in South Africa. And I feel like they teach the American kids, like they give them the whole like the wrong picture of how Africa really is. So yeah.
Kate, do you have any?
I don't know. I find people think that we aren't educated.
Yeah.
They kind of ask strange questions, and then they just don't understand that we also educated and we have a matric, we have degrees, you know. We have
Go to school.
Yeah, we have schools.
And we have cars. They're so surprised. I told the one person the one time, they're like, "You from South Africa, really? How do you get to places?" I'm like, "Oh no, I ride on my lion and stuff like that." "Oh, how did you get?" "Oh no, I flew with my ostrich," because they think we don't have vehicles or whatever. We also have cars. We don't live in huts, and they really think you're like from tribes and everything, and it's not like that.
You just reminded me of a story when I had just moved to the US and somebody asked me, "Oh, so you're from, how did you get here?"
I know.
And I said, "Well, by plane." I said, "Okay, do you have cars in Uganda?" I swear to God, I just looked at the person and I didn't respond for a while because I was trying to recover from the shock.
Yeah,
I was polite enough to say yes, but I was so tempted to say no. I carried my luggage on my head to the airport through the bush.
Yeah.
It's
No.
so sad, but again, this is why we need shows like this to just
Yeah.
tell our story as Africans. So Africans are known to have specific types of discipline for their children. Can you tell us a bit of your experience with child
Sure.
discipline in African societies, at least in your society?
Okay. Well, in the English part of South Africa, it's probably similar to Afrikaans, but when we misbehave, we get smacked, so we get hit, kind of, but not
It's
in
not
an
abuse.
abusive way.
Yeah.
It's just to say, don't do that again. I'm warning you. And my mom would count to 3, and I'd have to stop whatever I was doing, misbehaving. And when she got to 3, she would come and smack me. So that's
Yeah. I also grew up like if my mom said no and I carried on doing it, I'd get a hiding. We call it a hiding, but you get smacked. But it's not like in an abusive way. And in South Africa, I believe that if you hit a, I'm not saying abuse your kid, and there's like certain places you hit a child on his hands or on his bum. You don't hit him with something. You hit them with your hand because then you like also feel how hard you're hitting.
Thanks for sharing that. Then the fun part, weddings and celebrations.
Oh,
you
that's
tell
the
us,
best.
tell us your experience about how you guys celebrate, how the weddings are done, and any other events, social events.
I think weddings are kind of similar to America. I've never experienced an American wedding, so can't say that for sure. But
That's a safe.
from watching the movies, it's kind of similar. You know, you have the whole wedding ceremony, like inside, outside, in the churches. I think in churches is more South African,
Yeah.
or more popular in South Africa, anyway.
Our weddings are like fun. My host family, when they have friends in South Africa, so they went to a South African wedding, and they were really like surprised. They had so much fun, and because South Africans are really comfortable, so it's not like a stiff event. Because South Africans are really comfortable people, so you'd go in a ceremony in the church, and after the ceremony, you'd go to like the after like party for the wedding, and it'd be so much fun. So yeah.
So do they blend a bit of Western with the African traditions in the wedding, or is it all Western? At least in your
It's-
Afrikaans.
It depends on the like couple, because some people do bring in a few different stuff. It just depends on who you are. Some people bring in like different stuff, but most of it is like really traditional like Western. Yeah.
Yeah, I find the same situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because weddings, I can tell weddings in Uganda are insane.
The food.
The amount of food that is cooked can fit like a whole town. And the cooking starts, they start cooking a day or two before, depending on what kind of wedding. Because we have 2 types. We have the traditional and or cultural event where the girl is, there are some traditional ceremonies, and then after the couple can go to church or whatever, or mosque or whatever, to do the religious part of the wedding. But the traditional is just, there's too much food. There's too much drumming and dancing, and so I was curious about the South African, at least the African, and yours is probably English.
Yeah.
So
But I love weddings. Going to weddings, it's so much fun. I really enjoy going to weddings in South Africa.
do the African way. I've been to some weddings here, but I still prefer those home. So anyway, and yeah, is there anything that we have left out about South Africa that you just want to tell the world about in terms of the culture?
Just proud to be South African. Some people think maybe that we don't like that we're South African, but I'm 100% South African, and I'm proud to be. And I'm so glad that I am South African.
Yeah, like
Yes.
living in the US for the last like 4 months made me, I was so excited to get out of South Africa with everything going on.
Oh, yeah.
And now I like wish to go back. It's so great in South Africa, like the way we grow up, the respect we have, and it's really hard, and I'm really proud to be South African and I grew up in South Africa and have my heritage be South African, so I'm really proud.
Oh.
And we kind of appreciate things more.
That's again another reason I was inspired to keep a bit of Africa and share
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
with
good.
the rest of the community, and hopefully this can bear fruit, and it can transform the generations here to in terms of cultural pluralism, so that they can understand Africans, why we live the way we live, who we are, where we come from, what is our culture, what defines our way of life, and so that instead of working with assumptions, there is an opportunity for people to actually get to learn the different African people, knowing that they are very different,
Yeah.
even though they're in the same continent, although they might share a few ways of life that are common. So, and I'm definitely thankful that you were here today to share with us a bit of your experience being South Africans. One more thing you want to say before we end the show?
Thank you for having us on your show. I had fun.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was really fun. It was my first time doing it, so it was really fun.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And if anybody out there wants to ask us any questions related to African culture or way of life, be it dances, food, anything, just write to us at africa2u.vivian@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.africa2u.org, or visit send a message to ActonTV through the website at actontv.org. Till next time.